An overcast evening at Basil Hill Barracks saw third from top Pasty United hosting third from bottom Jaipur Takeaway, both sides having been knocked out of the Springfield Cup in the first round. Pasty United were hoping to bounce back after their strategy of resting players against King and Skippers had badly backfired and a can of Springfield Cup whoop-ass had blown up right in their faces. Jaipur Takeaway, meanwhile, had invested rather more in the Cup and fielded a full-strength side, but finally went down to up in smoke on penalties. Back in the league, Takeaway was still looking for their first win in this, their third away game in the opening 4 matches, perhaps the toughest opening schedule of any side in the league. Pasty United fielded an obviously weakened side. Kramer, Fear and Robb were rested. Larrigan, Blunston and Laver are first-class hot pastries, but with debutant novices James Scarpino and Alex Greenwood in midfield and Daniel Greenaway brought in for rested hardman Chris Fear, the Pasties took the field with a knock-kneed midfield and a rather less fluid striker. There's good banter to be had from Greenwood and Scarpino, but both are frankly out of their depth when it comes to football. For Takeaway, it was a similar story. Midfield deadweight Michael Bowler and rear-action bungle beast Simon Hancock were rested, and Aaron King returned from his yoga retreat, only to find himself partnered in the midfield with convicted sex pest Lydon Robinson. Mammary-focused Robinson would have his hands full with Laver, but would he be able to get a firm grip of Greenwood and Scarpino? Unwin kept goal, and Adam Taylor, with 3 goals and 2 assists in his pocket already this season, occupied his familiar goal-hanging position, with fake news generator Lee Ratcliffe scuffling about behind him, Ratcliffe having returned from what he says was a top-secret tank-building exercise in Russia. The big controversy, however, concerned the return to football of Christopher Mennel in Jaipur's centre of defence. For legal reasons, we won't go into details about the allegations against Mennel, but the league understands that no charges will be pressed by the boy's family, and the and the gentleness of Mennel's special affections has been recognised. Commentary expert and pasty aficionado Ben Powles caused some controversy of his own in the commentary box.
And everyone concerned is prepared to forgive and forget, so we'll focus on the football.
Yeah, I'm not sure if forgive and forget is the attitude I take, actually, Dodsey. He might not have broken any laws, but there's definitely something wrong about what Mennel's allegedly been up to, even if it isn't actually illegal, and it was just a very close friendship. It still makes me very uncomfortable. What sort of example does that set to all the young boys and girls in the crowd here tonight?
It was clear all evening that, like Powell's, even Takeaway's 6 or so travelling fans were not yet ready to forgive and forget, and they joined in with the home crowd to greet Mennel's appearance with hissing, booing, and filling his moral grey areas with thrown bottles and coins. Some pretty poor players on both sides then, with Jaipur Takeaway perhaps having the edge on moral degeneracy. But which of these hopeless players would prove to be the worst on the night? It was a bright start for United, who started with plenty of early possession. Refreshed Blunston, full of spunk, won the ball from Ratcliffe on 7 minutes and advanced up the middle to crack one off in Unwin's direction. But Unwin splashed Blunston's hopes, and his attempt was finished off with a sturdy pair of hands. United then created a chance for Greenaway, with only Ratcliffe between him and goal. Ratcliffe, however, set off the Basil Hill Barracks lie detector, and Pasty United were awarded a penalty. Greenaway took it himself on 18 minutes and put Pasty United 1-0 ahead. After 2 weeks of racial tension in current affairs, Greenaway was lucky to get away with just a yellow card for his fascist salute in front of the Pasty United ultras. Jaipur Takeaway, however, channelled their multicultural anger into some sleek football work for the remainder of the half. King, Ratcliffe and Taylor conjuring magic triangles, tackle-skipping ticky-tacky, ricky-ticky-tavy and tic-tac-tactics, running rings around lethargic logger lazy Tommy Laver, who was left looking loose, lagging and lazy. With almost half an hour played, Unwin found Mennel, who greased up King, who crossed from the right, found Taylor in front of Blunston, whose half-volley fell limply into the claws of cheeky goalkeeper Larrigan. All of Takeaway's ensuing advances were rebuffed by the bristling Daniel Blunston, overflowing with vim, mojo and beefy male hormones. His legs were simply too thick to navigate. His shorts may have been dripping with sweat, but Blunston made sure that Colin Larrigan kept a clean pair of pants. He had dominated the field for 45 minutes and would go on to be awarded man of the match, and the teams went in 1-0 at half-time. It was another quick start for United in the second half. Greenaway scurried about busily. Then, on 51 minutes, a rapid advance through muscular power bloke Daniel Blunsdon, who sent goal soldier Gareth Unwin the wrong way and casually raped Chris Mennell, left Tommy Laver with the simplest of tap-ins from 6 yards. Pasty United 2, Jaipur Takeaway 0. The game was very far from over, however, because it was only 6 minutes into the second half, and the second half is 45 minutes long, just like the first half, but afterwards. Lazy Laver was in the right place again at the right time, and that time this time was 72 minutes, exactly 21 minutes later, when registered grope artist Lydon Robinson attempted a stupid pass back to Unwin and found Greenaway instead, who laid off a simple pass to Tommy Laver, who lived up to his nickname, the Fat Controller. Barely paying attention and chewing on a wagon wheel, Laver dug from distance and found the inside of the angle, the ball finishing up in the takeaway net, leaving Captain Unwin feeling confused and resentful, like one of Chris Mennell's close friends. For Laver, it was very much job done, but battered and dispirited Takeaway took some small advantage of United's complacency. With 8 minutes to play, King poked an ambitious crossfield pass to Nork-obsessed Robinson, nutmegging both clueless Scarpino and social justice warrior Greenwood. Robinson, partially sighted, hopelessly left-sided, and encumbered with all the existential troubles of a convicted breast felon, found Taylor 12 yards out, who side-footed it past Larrigan for the softest and most meaningless of consolation goals. Pasty United 3, Jaipur Takeaway 1.